Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction and review of King Diamond album, The Puppet Master. This is the second part of it. We already reacted to first four songs of the album, and now this one will be containing 4 or 5 songs again. So continue and keep watching us. Let's get started with our 5th song reaction, which is called Blue Eyes.
The story is connected so far, but at the same time there's a disconnect that I sense between the stories. The first part is about the puppet show. After the introduction leading up to the puppet show, the first part was the puppet show. Second part was the aftermath of the puppet show and the scary love story where the ghost whispers into his ear, kiss the girl, kind of thing. And the third part was about the puppet master's wife, Emerencia, who was going down the street. She found a homeless man, seemingly murdered him in the chest with a knife, took him back in the cart, and the door was left ajar. The puppet master, the one who's narrating the story, King Diamond, was trying to wonder why it was left ajar. Maybe we'll get some clues to that later on, maybe not. I like the way it is going so far, but definitely there seems to be a disconnect between a couple of these stories, although they are still connected.
They are still building
in
up,
some way.
think. Yeah.
Let's see what this Blue Eyes is about. It seems about maybe the drummer boy.
Blue Eyes.
Yeah,
Who has the blue eyes?
Sounds like the drummer boy is coming into the picture. Let's get started. These are all first time single take reactions, honest reactions, critical to whenever required by me especially. Kirti is here to give a pure reaction to it. What it means, you could check out our Patreon page in the description box of each of our videos. You can check out what it means with our long intro video. You'll learn a lot about us as well as read our profile to learn about our background, our educational experience, our professional experience, and why we do these kind of reactions in the first place. Our purpose is to react to music from all over the world.
Yes.
So it's wonderful that we have a reaction to do of King Diamond, who hails from a part of Europe. Let's get started.
No one's here but me. No one's here but me. I'm stone cold, yeah. I must be lying on the floor. My hands are tied to the wall. I can't move at all. I remember
Wow, Kirti, what is your take on this one?
Let's talk about the story. What happened last time in Emerencia was at the end we heard some, something hitting him. He was saying, he was getting affected. Now he seemed to be chained somewhere on the wall in that dungeon or in the basement, wherever this, the puppet master and his wife are doing these sinful things. There are a lot of bodies of people, skeleton-like, only got the skin, and there are a lot of eyes also. And here he saw the blue eyes of his love. I think that's where the lady who he was searching, the girl who he kissed after the show last year, is also here. Maybe she's been murdered, I'm assuming, because her eyes are there. But I don't think he's talking about anything more. She's not talking. The eyes seem alive, but they aren't really alive.
I think it's just about the room full of puppets who are, perhaps made out of, human skeletons which were killed, bodies, and human skeletons covered with human skin. They look so real, they look so alive. All you can see is their eyes, but they're just laying there motionless. I do not know if he actually saw the girl that he kissed.
He said Victoria, and he said my love.
Okay, so if that is the case, then it's starting to connect the dots slowly for me. Yeah, so this is what it is. This is the story where he is in this room where all these puppets are kept. So it seems like the puppet master's wife does a job of going on the streets at night
and bringing
bringing in real people for these puppets.
Yeah.
They make it look as if they are children. Once they are dead and they're stuffed, they're kept on those shelves, the cellar full of sin. Once it's kept there, it makes it look like they're kids on the stage, but actually they are adults maybe who are murdered, who are then the skeletons used to make these puppets out of them with human skin, preserved through taxidermy or something like that, and then they look like kids, but they're actually adults who have been killed.
It's turning out to be more evil than one can assume. And also in the second track,
here is where it also comes. Before I forget, the word grotesque was used in the introduction and first song to describe these puppets. Now I can think why it was put, that word grotesque. Yeah, what were you saying?
What I was saying was, he said in the second song, the Puppet Master, the title track, that they don't have any strings attached to them. They act without those strings. So this is the reason why they act without the strings, because they are actual real people. I wonder how they are made to be like puppets. As of now, they are just laying there. As of now, they are on the shelves. So I guess the story is getting more evil, more gruesome, and more unimaginary at the moment.
Let's get started with the next one on our list. This should be really interesting because
it's
this
the
is
ritual.
This is what I'm studying currently. I'm trying to learn about tribal rituals, native rituals, as well as rituals of these cult and occult,
The Puppet Master's
cult
rituals.
groups in the West especially. So I'm learning a lot about that. I have studied things about this in the past in my own country as well as Thailand, Vietnam, etc. Now let's see what this ritual is about from Budapest in Hungary. The ritual.
Eyes of Victoria, winter
thoughts on this one, Kirti?
This was made to sound very, 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 very intense. Mostly the guitar, the turns the guitar players were taking to make it sound the way it was. Drums were kept on the back just to make the sound of the filler, but not really out there enhanced. But the guitar was lining up the intensity of the song. And now I guess the puppet master and his wife, they came in the room. He was shocked. He couldn't speak a word. Whatever he was saying, he was shocked at all of that. He had, no words to say. All that he was going through was pure shock. And they are performing some sort of ritual on him. They, I think, are picking in his eyes because he can feel some sort of sting in his eyes. And the things that he can see is skeletons on the wall. There were jars kept in the shelf with something dark as hell. And unfortunately, he did something. Maybe he freaked out, he panicked, and he dropped one of those jars, and what fell was red blood on the floor. And then I think the ritual that they are doing, they are demonizing him. They are putting some eternal energy or sort of entity into him, and it has gone haywire because he got up and he dropped things and something like that. I like that line in the middle when he said, "How dare you disturb my work?" That was in a very, very heavy voice. So there is some ritual that they were performing on him, but it hasn't gone as it should have gone. And they are doing something with his eyes. Probably they are trying to remove his eyes as they have done with other people to plant them on puppets or something like that.
Yeah, it's getting pretty interesting right now. This more or less the midway point of this album.
Yeah.
The ritual definitely talks about the ritual. The puppet master and his wife Emerencia, what do they do behind the scenes, of this puppet show?
How do they
in Hungary?
acquire their puppets?
Yeah, but we are learning a lot about this right now, and it's pretty interesting. There's jars full of blood, there's skeletons, there are puppets in those cellars of sin. So it's all happening more or less at the same time in this album. Great songwriting. It is meant to perhaps scare the listener as well as give a listener a taste of what is to come as well as what has already happened. So you can easily dream about this at night. Get nightmares if you're pretty young or if timid at heart, weak at heart. Definitely this will give you nightmares. I for one love things like that, so I don't think I'll have any nightmares tonight. What about you, Kirti?
Never know. But now I'm not getting goosebumps. I got goosebumps in the second song, the Puppet Master. After that it has been going well. Sometimes he creates a voice that really scares you. I'm not getting that in these at least.
Yeah. We move on to the next song, the seventh
No
song
More
on
Me.
the album, No More Me. Let's get started with our first time single take honest reaction to this as well.
Why am I strapped to this hospital bed? First your eyes, then your skin. We will make you feel born again. No more me, my friend. A shiny scalpel in
things are becoming clearer for me, at least. After that ritual, suddenly he's on the hospital bed, he's strapped down to an hospital bed, he can't escape, and then what he sees is that his eyes are removed and placed inside a puppet's head.
I hate the
And
way everything
from
was
that
described.
puppet's head, he can see his carcass lying there.
Yeah.
He seems to be dead, but he's alive in
He's
the
still
puppet's
alive.
eyes.
Yeah.
In his eyes, he's still alive, and he can see what's going on. He can see everything, and he's wondering what's going on, but he can see. He should be dead, but he can see that he's alive because his eyes can see his carcass. Then they take his carcass and throw it in the trash. He's still alive in the eyes inside this puppet's head. So now we are getting to learn how these puppets have come about and why they look so real and why the crowds love this puppet show. You know, so now things are coming back, coming full circle, and we have an understanding. What I see in the near future is in the next song or the song after that is this love story is going to come between the eyes.
Okay.
That will be a funny love story, wouldn't it?
Okay.
A weird, queer love story. Only the eyes in love. The eyes of Victoria and the eyes of this
King
guy.
Diamond.
So only the eyes will be in love between those puppets. Yeah, so that is what is my thoughts on this one. Very quickly, Kirti, your thoughts on this one before we move to the last one.
One more thing to pay notice at is they are collecting the blood in the jar. Even all of his blood is collected in the jar that they brought. I hate the way he said they cut first his eyelid and all that and then pulled it out. Wow, that is ugly. But I like all this description. You kind of imagine, you don't want to imagine, it's getting uglier. I hope it goes somewhere else from here now. And I like the music, the way the music was played on the keyboard, guitars and the keyboard and guitars and the keyboard, and it was getting. It creates kind of a ambience and environment for
This was the first song which gave me glimpses of the younger version of King Diamond. You know, in Missy.
Missy.
Yeah, as well as
I don't know if that
Little
would be
Missy,
younger him or not. Yeah.
as well as Abigail. There was a pronounced use of the synthesizer as well as some kind of the organ, perhaps on the synthesizer itself or keyboards.
Yeah.
This is the first song where we saw glimpses of that in this album. So that is something I really loved. But this is the first song in this album that I've actually seen the use of the
No,
organ.
even the last one had it, and the tune in that, what it starts with, is familiar to me. I don't know where I've heard that.
Yeah.
In Blue Eyes.
Yeah, so let's start with the next part of this reaction. The 8th song of the album, Blood to Walk. Let's check it out, what it's all about. You can check out our Patreon page to learn more about us, our background, our education, how we go about doing reactions. The link is in the description box of this reaction video. These reactions are being done for this album review is being done for our patron Marco. And if any patron out there or subscriber of ours or viewer of this video wants to become a patron and also request an album review, then you can check out our Patreon page to learn more about that. Let's get started with this one, Blood to Walk, the 8th song on the album. So perhaps this will reveal why they collect the blood in the jars.
It was only yesterday, needles in my skin.
Kirti.
Wow, this is getting story and story and a lot of story, and all of that has music infused in it. That's what it feels like now. The story is getting more and more intense, and you don't know whether you should be paying attention at the music or the story. But the music is playing a very pivotal role in the way the story is sounding and making it interesting. And now what has happened is he was on a shelf. He's put along with other puppets, though he is one, I think only one who can see everything around, even without the injection of the blood that goes into all of them for the performance. So both of them, the puppet master and his wife, came in. They are injecting blood into the puppets. This time he is sure that Victoria, his love, is that puppet who he can see and who he initially thought was, and he is reassuring. And after the blood injected in her, it is very, very clear, because she can acknowledge him and he can acknowledge her. They can't talk, they can't do anything, but what they can do is, after the blood is put into them, they can walk again. That's why Blood to Walk is the title of this song. The blood that they collected, they inject in the puppets for some time, I guess, or for longer time, but at the end they are out of blood again, and the puppet master says, enough for today. I like how the song also ends, enough for today, enough for now, enough story. So wow, it is going in its direction. I wonder if they will have more shows now to the real people, because I don't think they had a show. They were testing them.
Yeah.
It felt like they were just testing them.
What we have on this album remaining is now 4 songs, and perhaps that will tell us the remainder of this very fascinating, intriguing story. Do we call them ghosts now? Because both of them are dead and they are in the puppets.
But he is still alive. He can see things. Others can't. She can't see. I think unless she is given that injection or the blood potion, but he can see. I like when he said it's Emercia. When she came to inject the blood in him, he knew it was her. He is the only person who knows what is going around, who's doing what.
Maybe after some time they die. Maybe after some time unless they are injected with that hot blood, they are not able to come alive, or they not able to. Maybe that blood kind of controls them too. Along with the puppet master.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for a one-on-one between them. I was hoping for another kiss maybe, but all that didn't happen. Perhaps we will know. There's darkness to come. There's so sad to come. Christmas.
Another Christmas.
Wow. So it's going to be a year after the last time.
There will be the show.
And then it's Living Dead. Living Dead is something I love.
This is what they are. You're saying ghosts, they are living dead.
Yeah, so let's check it out in our third part of the video. Do watch all 3 parts. Do not miss any of them. It's a story. That's what it seems to us. It's all coming together now. Piece by piece, bit by bit, line by line. Great vocal artistry. Great guitar work. Definitely I would have loved a lot more keyboard and synthesizer. At least some kind of Hammond organ or church organ. Get in a couple of other instruments to make it more eerie. All that has not yet happened. So the album is good, but so far if I had to compare it with the last album of King Diamond, that was way, way better in my opinion.